Hey guys, it's AJ Markle here. I am going to be doing another FNAF theory because I realized the first one, I really messed it up. Because I made it like FNAF 4 and FNAF 2 were combined together. But I was wrong. Because after Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is when everything started to change. And FNAF 4 is the bite of 87, not the bite of 83. Seriously. Scott Cawthon's been teasing us a lot about this. I mean, considering the fact when the 587 question was going all over the internet, it was like, was it me? 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 The question bothered people for a while until FNAF 4 was released. And then we find out that Golden Freddy, or Fredbear, was the animatronic that did the bite of 87. Here's my theory about this. I believe William Afton was a good guy until that happened. And then he snapped and started having this sick mind of seeing his son losing the frontal lobe and then dying just a few days later. Perhaps he was obsessed with how long he survived after that incident. And that's when he went into a psychopath mind. Also, seeing children probably reminded of his son, which explains this cutscene in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, where he killed a kid right in front of Fazbear Entertainment. And another thing, some of you probably may have already noticed, but there's actually more than one person that you see. Only one of them is innocent. That's right, I'm talking about the purple guy. And the purple guy, as we will find out in the sister location later on, is innocent. And then the other guy is the pink guy. Well, some of you are like, it's purple, not pink. Sometimes what you see isn't what it is. I mean, it could have been purple in the dark lighting, is how they want to do the graphics. But perhaps Scott Cawthon wanted to fool us a little bit and play with our minds. And this will always play with our minds for a while, but now we go back to the picture. We see a, quote, purple guy putting on a Freddy Fazbear suit on somebody. That is possibly the pink guy, again, because this was in the shadows. And sometimes what you see in the shadows isn't what it is in real life. At least that's how the game would go. Anyway, after a while, a few months after the Bite of 87, we're in November 1987. And you play as Jeremy Fitzgerald in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. In Night 3, that's when things really start to get really dark. That's when William Afton began killing kids. And then, according to the game, the soul of the first child, not the victim of A7, of the Bite of A7, but the kid that was killed in front of the store, would become the puppet and will give life to the other animatronics. This is how the game will go. Even though I don't like it, that's how it goes. And that's when things really start to go wild. This is why the puppet goes wild in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 if you do not wind up that music box. Because they use that music box to put them to sleep. Kind of like a little kid when they won't go to sleep unless they listen to some tunes or something. Of course, when we get to Night 6, that's when things really start to go wild. We find out that somebody, that would be William Afton, used the Spring Bonnie suit, or Golden Bonnie, which will later be Springtrap later on, but they used the Spring Bonnie suit to kill the kids. And they say now they're not acting right in the phone call, which means that the children, are inside them. Their souls are inside them. Now, with that out of the way, we get this huge gap between 2 and 1, right? There's got to be something in between. You guessed it, the sister location. My theory in this case is that during the time when Freddy Fazbear's Pizza closed between Night 6 and Night 7, William Afton decides to open an underground entertainment place, Baby Circus. Unfortunately, his daughter was killed in the incident. But when he did the animatronics, he designed them to take children. That's right. The evidence is in the blueprints by Funtime Freddy, which you will find out in the Sister Location game. Unfortunately, after the death of his daughter, he sends his son, Michael, or Ex-Benedict, to go after her. Go down and find her and put her back together, which goes back to Five Nights at Freddy's 4. I'm sorry, I will put you back together. This would be an assumption that Michael was the killer because of what happened to his brother, which I would disapprove because you will find out later on in this location game that he's actually Springtrap, and he said that they thought I was you. Of course, let's go back to the Sister Location game. During the 5 nights, you uncover work time mystery. And then, of course, you get scooped and Innard goes into you. Now, before I continue, I must say this. During the mini-games, Michael becomes more paler and greener and in purple. Hence the term, the purple guy. The purple guy was born way after the Five Nights at Freddy's 7 and sometime after the second location in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which the purple guy never existed. It was all the pink guy. Now, let's go back to Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Night 7. Fritz Smith worked that one night before he got fired for tampering with the animatronics. Now, there's something you should know. In that, the toy animatronics are gone and they closed off several areas. We are led to assume that this happened many years after the Five Nights at Freddy's 7. We're going to assume maybe 10 years after the Five Nights at Freddy's 7. We'll assume it reopened in 1987, which we go to Night 7 in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Now, we're going to skip over Five Nights at Freddy's 3 real quick and go backward to Five Nights at Freddy's 1, back in 2003. The clue is in the phone call. And the phone call is, if I was singing those same songs for the past 20 years and I didn't get a bath, I'd be cranky too. Those were the words in the phone call. Now, this will probably lead to some theories like, it's 2007, they had that to Five Nights at Freddy's 7. Wrong! Because it was opened, according to an Easter egg in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, in 83. That was when it was all created. Now, let's go back to Five Nights at Freddy's 1. And, obviously, you play as Mike Schmidt. And he has to go through 7 nights before he gets fired for tampering with the animatronics. And in this case, after this, that is when the animatronics suddenly go off the stage and the purple guy destroys them. And, although there's a lot of theories, I think the best theory is the purple guy did it to free the souls of the children that were inside the animatronics that were given life by the puppet. And that is when you see the crying child in the final cutscene of Five Nights at Freddy's 3. And that's when Michael Afton, a.k.a. Purple Guy, goes in a spring lock suit. And then, boom. His human flesh dies. But he still has the mechanical part inside of him of Innard, despite spinning it out from the Sister Location gameplay minigames. Now we'll go to Five Nights at Freddy's 3, Fazbear's Fright. It has now been 30 years since the Five Nights at 7. And, in this case, this is in 2017. Hey, this year. Ah. But now, Michael Afton, a.k.a. Springtrap, comes to life in Night 2. Now, while there's theories, in this game, the puppet may have brought him to life in order to try and talk some sense into him, or to remind him what he did wrong, that he thought he did it. Because, as I said in the final cutscene in the Sister Location, that I found them and I freed their souls, they thought I was you. Or something like that. I'm sorry if I don't get it right. And the final words, which was after the burning down of Fazbear's Fright, which will be said in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, I'm going to come find you, I'm going to come find you. So, this theory will lead us to believe that there will be one more showdown between William Afton and Michael Afton, aka Springtrap. And based on the updated images on Fazbear Games and Scott Cawthon, well, the Scott Cawthon based on the second book, but the other one, Fazbear Games, I believe this means that in Five Nights at Freddy's sixth location, which will probably be the second one, Springtrap will return, and the Funtime Animatrons are rebuilt by William Afton, and they will eventually have a final showdown between William Afton, aka the Purple Guy, and it will lead us to more mysteries of what happened to the rest of the children, because they mentioned only 5, and there were more. A lot more, supposedly. And perhaps it might lead us to a final clue if it really did exist, that Fazbear Entertainment existed in 1983 and it started in 83, or it will reveal to us if there was even a bite of 83, or chomp of 83. Whatever that means, we gotta find out somehow. This is all theory from Agent Markle. This is not 100% perfect, nor do I claim it to be, but it's all just a theory. Anyway, I'm signing off. This is Agent Markle, signing out. God bless you guys. You guys rock. Don't forget it.